What's going on, guys? It's Blake here. We're going to be doing another trade recap. Today is February 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. It is a Tuesday. I actually woke up very late today, but it worked in our favor. Okay, so as you can see from my screen, we pretty much had around a 10K day. Not sure if I said that already. If I did, I'm sorry. But let's go over what I took. Okay, we're not gonna go too deep into this. Let's go ahead and turn off my chart executions. I'll turn them on in just a second so that way you guys can see. But again, one thing I like to stress when I'm trading is both my indexes following. Okay, so today I actually did take a trade off the 15-minute. You can see I took pretty much this close. I did not just take the close. I wanted a better entry, and if you guys want me to go over real quick, I pretty much just limited this, or I didn't limit it, but I was watching it, and then pretty much once we rejected off of it, that's when I took my market order. I took like this candle, mid candle right here. That's all I was watching really. Okay, but let's go over the draw part. Let's go over where would I put my stop, things like that, right? Because although you're getting these precision entries, right? Like again, I'll turn on my chart executions, right? Pretty much don't want to say top ticked, but yeah, we pretty much, got the full expansion here, right? Like obviously we didn't get the first 10 minutes of open, but again, don't really trade that anyways. But we get the full expansion here, so that's what I'm really excited about. Went ahead and full screened it for you guys, so hopefully it's easier. Okay, so again, I was watching this old 15-minute inverse after this one closed very, very hard. Now, what I want to go over is soft draw on liquidities. Is what I like to call them, but don't give them like this fancy name. It's nothing crazy about it. Basically, all it is just old fair value gaps that haven't been tapped. Those are what I'll target, right? So one thing I noticed after that close was we edged this low right here. It's an intermediate term low inside this old little tiny fair value gap. And then I noticed below that low, we also had this untapped 5-minute right here. Oops, let me go ahead and straighten that out. And then we also had this unfilled, but I actually like this unfilled better just because it was a bigger gap. That's why you see I didn't mark this one out. But this edged low was my break even. If we come over here, you can see we edged it. My entry was somewhere up here, right? So that was my break even. I just went stops to break even right there. You can see we flush and we go straight for that old fair value gap down there. Now, I don't want to go too technical into terms like, why do these old fair value gaps work, right? You could just say price, their imbalances, price needs to retrade. You could say whatever, but all I see is the volume. You could see price was moving. If I go again to the 15-minute, we get this pretty much hard close. We edge this low. We get a 15-minute inverse. This wick taps that 15-minute inverse, and then we continue our move lower, right? All I'm concerned about when I see draws on liquidity like this and when I see volume like this, when I'm seeing clean closes, right? Like, to be honest, this isn't even bad right here, because it's after the first 10 minutes, okay? It's just, yeah, no, you actually did some draws. Like, honestly, that's really not that bad that you could go break even somewhere in here, but just not the cleanest take. Obviously, I was also asleep, but I think some people did take it. Again, guys, main takeaway from this, don't overcomplicate things, right? If I were to go to ES right now, you can see ES was also moving. ES had some draws on liquidity lower, right? You can see the candles aren't as fat on ES, so that's why I wouldn't trade this now, because you can see the volume is pretty much slowing down. But when you see these candle closes like this, it's pretty consecutive on these trades when you have like these old little unmitigated fair value gaps, right? So those are clean targets. Those are clean break evens, right? If price is reaching for them, it's probably going for those old fair value gaps, old liquidity pools, or whatever. So one thing I always say, if you feel like taking a trade, just make sure your displacement is protected. What do I mean by that? Okay, if we go to NQ right here, let's just, so I said my entry was somewhere in this wick. Okay, obviously it's the higher time frame, but on the lower time frame, my entry is somewhere within like here probably. Okay, now when you're looking at this, when you're looking for clean draws, all I'm looking for is that displacement, right? So what I mean by safe stops, safe entries, whatever, okay, when you have a old unmitigated fair value gap like this and you have a close like this, okay, now obviously I don't like shorting the very bottom, right? This is, if you take a short like that, it's most likely just a guaranteed break even, okay? But what I do want to point out is if you can get a decent entry like I did, like somewhere around here, okay, then a break even inside that fair value gap is a lot easier. It's a lot easier to trail for winning days. because the volume is already showing you it's right there. It's literally right there. So as long as your entry isn't skewed, you can easily catch free break evens, free winning days off your break evens. You can catch flushes like this. Like I just caught a pretty much 10K day, waking up late in 12 minutes just by looking at old fair value gaps and where price wanted to move based off the 5 minute. One thing people kept asking me was like the 4 hour. What about the 4 hour? What about the 4 hour? The thing is, guys, I will never care about the 4 hour, just because, again, 4 hour gaps can get inversed, right? I'm more focused on what's the 5 and 15 minute telling me, right? If we're moving, there's a reason, right? Like you can see this 4 hours pretty much about to get inversed, right? So imagine I waited all this time when price was moving like this, right? So 4 hour gaps can get inversed, right? You could even play like that thought. I obviously wouldn't want to, you can see the draws just aren't that clean unless we come take out all of this today, which is, to be honest, just really unlikely. That's kind of what I mean though when I say like don't get in your guys' heads too much. Like a lot of people will get in their heads like, oh, what about this 4 hour? Like a lot of people asked me about the 4 hour gap today, but I was not concerned about that because why would price be moving the way it was if they wanted to respect that 4 hour fair value gap? That 4 hour fair value gap wanted to be used or protected in what in any ways, you guys would see volume slow down, reject, like exactly how volume is slowing down kind of here. I'm not saying this is exactly where the reversal is going to happen, but when candles are closing like this, I mean, this is actually still a pretty clean close, but volume is slowing down. But when you have candles just moving like this, 50 points every few minutes, yeah, you're not going to just get a straight reversal one way, all because of a 4 hour fair value gap. To be honest, I wouldn't like a 4 hour fair value gap unless I got like a 5 minute inverse out of here, right? Like if I got a 5 minute inverse here, then I would be saying, okay, maybe now I can use that 4 hour. But again, just to go over everything real quick, okay? Don't want to take up most of your guys' time too much, okay? But you can see we have clear displacement on the higher time frame, okay? I waited. I did not want to bottom blast this. I also did wake up late, so I didn't really have a choice anyways. But saw this 15-minute inverse, got wicked. I'm not saying you guys have to use 15-minute inverses. Like, I don't limit this, right? Like, you can see if I limited it, I would have top ticked with, like, 2 points of drawdown. That's not what I'm looking for, okay? You will lose trades like that. I'm looking for trades that I know I'm going to win. And once I see it rejecting, I'm confident with it because my stop, guys, also, real quick, like, even if my entry's here, my stop isn't here, okay? If you guys are thinking that, you're dumb, okay? My stops, no matter what, are going to be, like, here. They're on the higher time frame, okay, right? Like, if I go to the 15-minute, my stop would, okay, it wouldn't be that high, but it would be, like, here. You get what I'm saying? So don't be just so caught up on the lower time frames, things like that. Okay, if price is moving, look for these old fair value gaps. If you can't find like those clean draws in liquidity, look for those old fair value gaps. Trust me. Last thing I want to add too is if you guys are struggling with the 1 minute, I want to show you how much better the entries are. Look at my chart executions. Okay, this is from watching the higher time frame and expecting like old inverses and stuff like that because they hold the higher power. I'm sure you guys have heard higher time frame, higher power, right? This is how you're going to get those good 1 minute entries is based off those 15-minute inverses or those 15-minute closes when you know price is already moving, right? You know that this is just a retrace on the 5 minute, on the 15-minute, but if you stay on the 1 minute, you're going to get clouded judgment, right? Like a lot of people, maybe they took this inverse, this little 1 minute inverse. I don't know. I don't trade that, but it's just something to think about, right? The higher time frame is going to give you those better entries, but you have to watch it. You have to pay attention. You have to look for it. You have to make sure the assets are clean, right? So just look for all those things and you'll be good. I'm not sure if you can hear the dogs howling, so I'm going to wrap it up there, but don't overcomplicate things, guys. Just focus on clean closes, draws and liquidity, assets moving together. That's all it is, okay? That's what some of the best traders do in the world, okay? But thank you guys for watching, okay? If you guys have any questions, go ahead and feel free to shoot me any DMs on Instagram, Discord, whatever, and I'll get to them when I can. But have a great day, guys.